get started, guys. The time is 11:15. I'm going to say, welcome, Democrats. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Our October 1st Friday meeting. Thank you to the Range for hosting us, as always. We appreciate everything you guys do. We want to start with the pledge, so if you all will please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. I've got that thing memorized now. It's been a few meetings. So we're just going to go right into it and have our featured speaker, our distinguished guest, who we're very happy to join us today, our Public Lands Commissioner, Stephanie Garcia.
Thank you, Isaac. Any way I can take this off the stand? So I just need to be in view of that.
Wherever you want to be, we'll follow you.
Wherever I want to be. All right, Sandoval County Dems. Great to be with you today. I feel like I'm about to, do a joke, tell some jokes. I don't know any jokes. I'm a politician. Like, we're not funny. So just real briefly. Super duper thanks to Madam Chair. Yes. For hosting me, Mr. Vice Chairman for inviting me to do this. This was actually Chris Dahl's idea because I called him the Master Connector. He literally saw me at an event like not even a week ago and was like, hey, first Friday? No. I was like, here I am back again, folks, after 3 years. Wow. And you all, the vivacious Sandoval County Dems got out in force 3 years ago and helped elect the first Latina, first woman, first educator in the state land office in the state history. Yeah. And you might be asking yourself, did that even matter? Did that change anything? What has she done for 3 years? So I'm here to talk to you not only about what we've been working on for 3 years on your behalf, for your state lands, but also why we need to keep going. I'm going to ask for your help in re-election. I run again in 22, just like Michelle does. All of the statewide offices are up for election in 22. So I'll be talking to you about your support, your great support, like you gave me last time, to get back in there and finish what we started so strongly. So what the first woman land commissioner means is a whole bunch of firsts. And I was talking to some folks just kind of one-on-one about some of this, but I wanted to share it with all of you. So the best news is that we've had the first $1 billion historic revenue into the land office. And remember, the money into the land office is for public schools. For the first time ever in the history of the land office, we brought in $1 billion in 2019. But we didn't stop there. We did it again in 2020 in the midst of a pandemic. And then again in 2021, we actually brought in 1.2 billion. That's not M, that's buck with a B, billion. So you may have heard former Commissioner brag that he was the $4 billion man. Well, I'm the $3 billion woman in one term, y'all. I haven't even finished the term yet. And already we are the $3 billion office, and that goes on behalf of public schools, universities, and hospitals, all causes that we as Democrats know are important. We value. That is part of our civic society and how we, give back to our folks. And so that's the reason I wanted to run for this office. But the time of the $1 billion is probably coming to an end sooner rather than later. We have a heavy reliance on extraction. that we've had in our state for as long as this office has been in existence. First, we cut down all our trees and sold them. Then we mined the heck out of the uranium in the hills and sold that. And now we're fracking away our precious earth and selling the oil. So what that means is we can no longer depend on that particular source for climate reasons, for environmental reasons, for health reasons, but also because it's a finite resource, y'all. So what we are trying to do at the land office is transition away from that heavy reliance on extraction, understanding that it's not, that it can be harmful, and understanding that there is a better and brighter future in a better way. And so what we have been doing is we started the first ever, you're going to hear a lot of firsts in this talk, the first ever outdoor recreation office where we are narrowly zeroed in on opening up your 13 million acres of your state land to recreate on. That's one way we're diversifying. We've opened up the first ever Office of Renewable Energy. That's a little tiny but mighty team of 4 people at the land office whose sole mission is to bring renewable energy projects, wind and solar and transmission, to your state land. And then we're going like crazy in that office. You may have heard the governor talk about the largest single-phase wind farm in the history of our state was just opened down south of Pines Corners. Guess what? That's on your land. So not only are we generating good, clean, renewable energy for our citizens and to sell, but we're making money for the school kids doing it as well. We, for the first time ever at the land office, have taken accountability for the state of your land seriously. And we have a program where we have gone after bad actors who want to destroy our public lands and leave, they lease it from us and then they leave it behind dirty, sometimes contaminated, the soil, the groundwater. And so we have put into place a consistent program. It's our enforcement and accountability. We have recovered millions of acres have been restored. Millions of dollars that we didn't have to pay to bring that land back to its original state. We've even taken some of these bad actor companies to court because we take the mandate seriously, so seriously to protect your public resource that we will take folks to court to do it. And we have recovered millions of dollars on your behalf from those lawsuits. We have ended the practice of using fresh water that you folks are drinking right now in front of you, for fracking. There's no reason to use water that could be used for human consumption, agricultural consumption, in a dirty process. And so we have ended that use of fresh water for fracking on state land. So really what all of those firsts mean in the end, what they mean in a re-election campaign, is that I just painted a big red target on my back. And if you will remember, the oil and gas industry came out after us to the tune of $3 million to our $300,000. 10 to 1 we were outspent. 10 to 1. There's no, we can't. I don't want that kind of money. I don't want to raise $3 million from oil and gas. So I need y'all to help. And you know that this election cycle is going to be rough. It's off season. Our party is in the White House. We know that that spells trouble for us. We know that the Land Commission office, even if all the other statewide offices stay solid blue, the land office is a swing seat. It will sometimes flip. And so I'm here to ask you not to forget about us and the great work that we've done for the past 3 years. And the point is we're not finished with that work. We can't end now. We're just getting started in the build out of renewable energy on your land and bringing in those very important dollars for school kids, in protecting the resource we all love for future generations. So if y'all want that work to continue, I'm going to need your help. Unfortunately, I am off the ball and I did not bring my nominating petitions. But I think what I'm going to do is I can email them out to the chair and she can distribute them. Because we are having so few in-person events, those nominating petition signature gatherings are going to be even more important than they were 3 years ago. So if I could ask for your help there. As always, we rely on the generosity and the donations of you all, the advocates in the field, on the front lines, to battle back that $3 million that Chevron is going to put in because they don't like the first woman land commissioner. They don't want to be held to task. They don't think it's fair that I have taken folks to court to clean up your land. So because we're bold and we're out in front, we generate attention. And so that's just, I'm just trying to set the stage for what's coming, for what to prepare for to set you all up for what's, and it's going to be up and down the ticket, y'all. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today to kind of take to the streets. I mean, this is where it happens in First Friday. It's the energy of the room. And I can take questions if you'd like at this time, Madam Chair. But thank you all so much for being here. Judy, I love Judy. Judy says, who do we make the check to? Friends of Stephanie Garcia. Judy was an original supporter. I mean, way back before I even won the pre-primary. So thank you, girl. Yes. So follow the Diatley's lead, y'all. Trying to take out the checkbook.
Remember, on your check to Friends for Stephanie Garcia Richard, have not only your address with your zip code, but have your employer and your occupation, or the word retired, and your past occupation.
Thank you for that reminder. He keeps us compliant, y'all. Yes, ma'am. You can donate on Acro. I have an Acro account. Yep. Yeah. So there's a couple different ways actually. You can go directly to my website. That's just stephaniegarciarichard.com. If you go to ActBlue and search Stephanie Garcia Richard, I have a page on ActBlue. They're all the ways. All the ways. Yes, Erica.
I've got a question.
Yes.
In the past, for you, it seemed like New Mexico was giving away the land as far as rent and things like that. Are we charging them more market? Because I never understood why it was so cheap.
All right, so the question is, are we kind of giving away our resource, giving away our land, renting it for cheap? And the answer is, unfortunately, in some cases, yeah, we still are. And here's the reason. For most of the leases at the state land office, and you can lease the land, you can lease land for any use. Spaceport is on state land. The Walmart in Silver City is on state land. For most of those leases, the commissioner, whoever you all elect, has complete discretion to write out those terms and conditions of the lease, except in one very important place, and that is the statutory oil and gas lease. So rentals on oil and gas, the amount that's paid in royalty on oil and gas is all set by the legislature. And guess when they wrote that Oil and Gas Act? That was in the 1970s. Actually, they wrote it in the 1940s. They updated it, made it brand new in the 1970s, and haven't touched it since.
Why?
We could have a whole other forum on the reason. There is a stranglehold from that industry on our decision makers in this state, I believe. Common Cause did a report talking about just the amount of money that pours into the coffers of both Democrats and Republicans from that industry. That's one reason. Another reason is, we have this perennial story that's told to us. Anytime we want to put parameters around the industry. Anytime we want to increase the amount that they pay. By the way, royalty is not a tax. You all own minerals collectively, publicly. All right? Our public, hey, Sheriff, how are you?
Stephanie, how's it going?
Our public minerals are held in trust. To develop those minerals, you gotta pay a royalty, right? That's a public resource. So, you know, this notion that somehow the royalties are unfair, or we're punishing, or we're not business friendly because we charge a royalty is a little bit ridiculous. So we get this perennial story like, oh, well, don't raise the cost on the industry now. I mean, this is hard times for them. You're going to chase them all away. They're going to all go to Texas. And then when times are good, they say, well, don't raise the rates on industry now. They're doing so well. They're contributing to our economy. It's like, we cannot win. I mean, that is a major thorn in the side of New Mexico, I think, is our ability to stand up and ask for what we deserve.
As a follow-up to that, Stephanie, is that you do receive in Texas?
Okay.
I've always wondered.
So this is my fellow Madam Commissioner. She did not just set me up with a softball there, but I'm going to take it. So what Commissioner was talking about, she just said, do we pay a less rate than Texas? I had a bill, my very first session is, so I used to be a state legislator, and I thought, oh man, these guys, I've got relationships with that body, I can get in there and do some good. So my very first bill, fresh out of the gate, when I was first elected to be your land commissioner, was to raise the royalty rate on oil and gas. And our argument was this: in Texas, the progressive state of Texas, they charge oil and gas companies a full 25% royalty on every barrel of oil that those folks produce there. Guess what New Mexico charges? And by the way, that rate is set in statute by the legislature. 20%. We're stuck at a fifth. That rate actually was put into statute by a Republican legislator who thought it was too low back in the 1970s. Senator Bill Lee, who's passed away now. So we wanted to raise it, at least to be level, at least to be equal, consistent with our neighboring states. And that bill, not only did it go down in flames, I got a 3-hour beatdown in committee over that bill. So we're still trying, we're not giving up.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there a way to get New Mexicans riled up about it?
So our idea actually to get folks riled up, the question was, is there a way to get New Mexicans riled up that we're not paid the same amount for our minerals as producers are paying in Texas, in the same basin, y'all. It's just the same Permian, same minerals. And the way that we wanted to get folks fired up actually is we were going to go to school boards, because it's their money. This is public school money. No matter where your school board is, no matter if it's conservative or not, you should be using more money for the school kids. So that's our next. That's why I need to get reelected. That's kind of our next mission, is to get out and rally the troops around that one. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I don't like showing my vehicles, but what is the land use policy with the regular? Because I know it's preservation and it's not about some preservation and historic sites and stuff.
Monuments. Okay, so Judy asked, what is the land office's relationship with the federal government? And I was explaining to some folks when I was talking about, so just to reiterate, and there are no stupid questions. I mean, I had a lot of questions when I first took this office too, and you would believe, I'm still, drinking from a fire hose. I oversee 13 million acres of your state public lands. New Mexico has some of the highest rate of public land actually in the nation. And so the other large landowner is the federal government. And they've got national forests, they've got BLM land, and they've got our national parks and monuments. And what happens is when a monument is designated, they just take that whole swath of land and designate it, even if there are state land in holdings in the monument. So you could potentially have a land commissioner come along and start to develop state land within the monument, because it's still state land. So what we are doing is we're actually doing an exchange. So we're not selling land, we're not giving it to the folks. We're exchanging the land in the monument that we don't want to develop because it's supposed to be protected, for other land that BLM has that we can then develop, for wind and solar, for conservation needs, all of the things that we're pursuing. Yes. Yeah. So in some ways, the acreage will actually increase. The acreage of protected land will increase. Yeah. Isaac.
You had mentioned that the land commissioner office, even in blue times, is often a flip office.
That's right.
And I think a big reason for that is because a lot of people on our side kind of drop off the lower down on the ticket, whereas they may have showed up for someone higher up on the ticket. They're like, I don't know what the land commission office is, or I don't know enough about it. What do you think we can do, in your opinion,
to generate excitement? So at first, the first thing is blue up and down the ticket. Vote blue up and down the ticket. That's the first thing. And we all run as a slate together. But you saw the T-shirts they made in 2018. If someone tucked their shirt in, Stephanie didn't even appear, because I was like, my name was all the way. I'm below the treasurer. And so it is incredibly important for folks to understand the importance and value of this office, particularly now that we are moving away from that heavy 100-year historic reliance on extraction. Y'all, our state has paid its price already. It's time for a new way forward. It's time for us to put our investments in something clean and renewable, something we can take pride in. And so, we need to spread that word for sure. Something else that occurred to me as you were asking that question. Oh, ironically, this office that I hold right now is actually more important for the other side. I talked to a gentleman who's done conservation work in the West, the entire Mountain West for years. He says the two seats that oil and gas industry is always after, C2 state rep, U.S. rep, and the land office, because they are the most applicable and they impact that industry directly. Yeah, right. Your help spreading that word is invaluable. Hopefully, we can get you all, resources to help tell that story, especially if, on the website. And so I think we are going to try and chase that instant gratification need that the populace and the electorate especially has. And that's what we did last time around. Like I said, we were outspent 10-1, but we were still victorious. So, we are the little campaign we can. Okay, I appreciate that request for sure. Yes?
Mine is a comment in response to Nancy's just question, which is, I think it can be very effective for us to, slavery was ended in people's homes. And I still think if we were to hold some fundraisers for you and also information campaigns, even if you're not present, in terms of having, if you could put some of these points, I asked the governor to do the same from her speech last Saturday, to have those points available so we can return to them and we speak accurately.
That is an excellent idea. That's an excellent idea. And in this day and age also of, virtual and Zoom, that's another option as well. Even if we're not in person together, we can still gather and converse.
And you're right, and you don't have to provide food or a clean home.
People provide their own. Yes. Great suggestion.
If nobody else has a question, I just always wanted to ask you, because Alex tells me that you have a very funny story with your predecessor stealing something from the office before you were on your way, and I didn't know if you wanted to tell that.
So, I think steal is a strong word. The Madam Chair did not say steal. For all of you out in Zoom land, the Madam Chair did not say steal. It is a funny story. So, you know, when I was running for this position, I was actually a march with some of the people, some of the very people in this room, but some of your usual suspects from Sandoval County that are not present today. And we all had stickers that said ban fracking. And so, you know, it's as though I had, I don't know, it was the end of the world when I was running for office and I had this sticker and everyone lost their minds. And so folks started to get real worried because the art piece out in front of your state land office was a actual working, but didn't pump anything, pump check. Right. It was solar powered, y'all. It was solar powered, it didn't pump anything. It was an art installation that someone had donated to the office, you know, in sort of in recognition of the oil and gas boom. And the folks started to wonder, like, if Stephanie gets that office, what's she gonna? She's gonna desecrate that very important artistic object. We better protect it. And so the former commissioner, you can look this up because this actually became a press story. He took it upon himself to take it away preemptively and give it to, he actually gave it to the School of Energy in Farmington. I don't know if you ever knew that. But he took it away preemptively before Stephanie could get there and desecrate it. And he called the press to tell them what he had done. And so they called us for a quote and we said, well, at least we can agree with the commissioner on one thing. I will be in that office come January. So yeah, I mean, so, you know, from time to time we'll get calls. You know, what happened to the pump jack that was in front of the land office? A solar-powered pump to nowhere. It's a great story.
It's a good story.
Wasn't stolen, but it's a great story. All right, well, thank you all very much. I can stick around and mix and mingle. I'll have my mask on though. This is what I look like.
Another round of applause, please, for Stephanie. So, I have one other person that would like to speak with you. Give him 2 minutes, I believe. He's going to talk about the upcoming municipal elections, and then I will have announcements, and then we can wrap this thing up. So.
Now? Yeah, come on up. Okay, your friendly, not so friendly party sergeant at arms. I got a new hat. Now, normally you do not see me when I'm not reaching into your pocket. Okay, first for our chair lady, Jessica Velasquez. Next month, when I get the proper envelopes, I will be asking you for small contributions to the state party. But again, friends of Stephanie Garcia Richard, on your check. Not only, I assume your address, complete address, is on your check, but your employer and your occupation, or the word retired, and your past occupation. So, we're going to be starting getting the nominating petition signatures. For instance, for Stephanie, should Alex and Isaac sign that right now? Maybe not, but nobody really cares because Maggie and Stephanie won't have primary opposition. Okay. Now let's get to our new Supreme Court justices, Brianna Zamora and Julie Vargas. Oh, well, maybe if Jessica Velasquez okays, I'll be bringing their nominating petition signatures and their forms for the $5 matching contributions for the public financing. Stephanie, for instance, Maggie, do not get the public financing. When I start doing my normal for you, Lawrence, Sheriff, and Kathy do not get the public financing. Are you TL?
TL, what is that?
Term limited.
2 terms.
Yeah.
So I'm up for re-election in June.
Okay, 1, 2, up for re-election. Okay, well, I have to talk about the money. She doesn't have to. I used to work for this one. Okay, anything else on the money? Come on.
Thank you, President Arnold.
My name is Judy Diaz, and I'm here to talk to you about Julie Vargas and, I can't even, Brianna, I'm sorry. It was too small for me to read, and I couldn't remember. Brianna Zamora. Due to the difficulty of collecting petitions at this COVID time, we have worked together to do drive-bys. And so that people can drive by, talk with Julie and Brianna, sign the petitions, have a cup of coffee or a donut, and leave. So we have them scheduled for Saturday the 23rd at your Tripp's house in Rio Rancho, and Saturday, October the 3rd at Marv and Fred's house. And I'll be passing these out to you. But they will be accepting the $5 donation at that time, also the petition signatures, and they will be there from 10 till noon, so that you can say hi and you get to know them. There's not, our court races are vital. I mean, we all have to support our candidates. And from the top of the ticket to the bottom of the ticket, I hope to see you on the 23rd.
It's fine. I'm going to make this really, really quick because you guys get to hear me every time I'm in front of you. But I wanted to say thank you to some of the folks who are here today for your generous contributions to my campaign. I've established the account, and I'm just trying to make sure that I have enough funds to ward off a primary, if at all possible. So if anyone else could join, since we have a filing deadline for our first filing this coming week. So anyway, and if you have any questions about commission or anything going on, come see me. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Kathy. Next, we'll have our sheriff, Jesse James, come up and speak.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jesse James, the Sandoval County Sheriff, and I'd like to humbly ask for your vote, but I want to earn it. Like I told the last group with the governor, I want to earn it by my accomplishments, not just because I'm a Democrat. I have a lot to hang my hat on, and anyone that would like to know, I'd be more than happy to speak with you, email you, or whatever the case. But put me to the test, and I'm always open for discussion or my accomplishments, and that's it. Anyone have any quick questions?
Do you have a website?
Not a campaign website, just an email. My first time I ran a website.
Can you send me a list of your accomplishments and we'll share that with
Okay.
you?
Yeah, actually there's more as of this week. So.
What are good or two?
There's many. One that I'm very proud of is the top grant. First time in Sandoval County history of gaining that. About our canine unit, our drug narcotics team, numerous line items in monetary, double in the overtime budget. Let me see what else. There's a few I know on this. But yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
That's just off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just briefly reminding everybody, Kathy did a good job to show candidates. You're going to have to listen to me. But to remind everybody, this goes for all of the statewide candidates, including Stephanie, is there's a filing deadline on the 4th of this month. So everybody's trying to look impressive with their numbers to try to scare away or at least stamp down Republican challengers. So if you were thinking of contributing to any candidate in the state, now would be a great time to do it, or get your check in, or act blue, or whatever, before the 4th, so they can show those on the report. Thanks.
Please keep everybody in mind. So before I go into announcements, I just want to ask, is there anybody else that would like to come up and speak? Think we're good? So just quickly, I want to remind you guys, please check out our website. It's still very new. It's pretty awesome. If you haven't had a chance, we're very proud of it. There's lots of good stuff going on up there, so give it a look. And of course, please read our October newsletter. It will be released today, I believe.
It's in your mailbox.
It's in the mailbox. We've got lots of good stuff in there. Our wonderful secretary puts together an awesome column full of all the things you want to know about politics in our local county. So check her stuff out. I want to tell you guys that, a big thank you. I know many of you in this room contributed, but our Keep Sandoval Blue fundraiser was an astounding success.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who contributed. I can't give you specifics, but I will say that we increased our income 20% over the last fundraiser. So, big thank you, everybody. I want to let you guys know, I'm going to keep trying a little bit. I know it's a giving time. We have a fundraiser coming up for our Rio Rancho mayoral candidate, Barbara Gordon. It will be at Chair Alex's house on October 9th. What time?
From 3 to 5, and email chair@sandovaldemocrats.org for directions how to get to the house.
I will say, we're here in Bernalillo, but obviously Rio Rancho is very, very important, and we don't want to see it to be a little bit more blue. So, if you live here in Bernalillo, in Placitas, Corrales, anywhere not Rio Rancho, please consider contributing, volunteering, at least getting to know Barbara Jordan. She's an amazing candidate. It's a very, very important race. We're going to take the fight to Rio Rancho. Get it blue. Thank you. Another kickoff we've got coming up, a dear friend, our Ward E Chair, El Lovato. He is running for probate judge, the countywide office. He will be doing a campaign kickoff on October 10th at his offices at 661 Quantum Road. It will be at 5 p.m. So we'd love to see any of you come and join us there as well. Donate to Ed, yes. It is the season of giving. I want to let you all know the Rising Star Dinner will be October 16th. So if you're interested in purchasing a ticket, contact myself or Alex, and we can get you set up with that. So that is a state party fundraiser. Yes. Every year, so good opportunity to go and mingle. Let us know if you're interested. And then the last announcement I want to give to you all is that Sandoval County Democrats will be holding a rally here in Bernalillo. It will be October 23rd, 11 to 1. We're going to bring some firepower. We're going to have hot dogs. We will not bring chairs, so please bring your own chairs. But it will be a picnic in the park, Rotary Park. And we're hoping to have a good time, get some good public turnout, dredge up some excitement in the town of Bernalillo. So I hope you will join us for that too. You know, it's a lot. Thank you, guys. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and move to adjourn this.
Good morning, everyone. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. But a couple of things. First of all, I'm an appointed member of the Affirmative Action Committee for the Democratic Party. Also, I'm a member of the Veterans Caucus of the Democratic Party. And so I invite you to contact us with your concerns. We invite veterans and certainly relatives of veterans to participate with the Veterans Caucus. There's a lot of issues that we need to address, not just in the state, but also federally. As long as we contribute our voices and participate, that's the only way we get things done. As far as affirmative action is concerned, one of the current issues that we have to deal with is how we set education standards. Just today, this past couple of days, certain political members in this state have challenged what we want to teach our students. So unless we contribute with our voices, our concerns, what we want to help the rest of our citizens gradually become contributing and participating citizens, that's how we do it. So again, the New Mexico Veterans Caucus of the New Mexico Democratic Party, the Affirmative Action Committee, need my contact information, please email your concerns. I'll be glad to pass it on to those who we all look to accomplish. And so I look forward to hearing from you. Again, my name is John Jahadi. John Jahadi.
Thank you, John. And I need to talk to you, and I also know David Diatley is a veteran, so I need to talk to him too before I leave. I wanted to remind everybody that second Saturday will be online. It's co-hosted by Sandoval County Indivisible, and we will have our CE3 representative, United States Representative Teresa Ledger Fernandez. She will be speaking to us and taking some questions, and we will also have a candidate for State Auditor Zach Quintero here to speak. So I hope you will join us. Please watch our website for the Zoom link registration, and I'm trying to get a big turnout. That's why we're joining in with other forces. So I hope you'll all join in for at least one more Zoom. Just this one. Oh, and here's a sneak peek. We're trying to nail down a date for Attorney General Hector Valderas to come speak to us in person.
We are very fortunate in Sandoval County that we have so many wonderful politicians who love to grace us with their presence. So, anyone else? I just want to make sure anybody else, any other announcements, anyone else want to say something? Tell us your thoughts. Okay? Yeah. With that, I move to adjourn this October 1st Friday. Thank you all for coming.